What's up, guys? Welcome back to Higurashi. Um, I was gonna make another video today, earlier today. But I didn't get around to doing it. But I'll make one before I go to bed today, so that's okay. Cause I'm going. It's like not. It's like 10 till 10 at night. I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna go to bed. Weariness and a headache, and I had a very nice way to start the day. No, it is not, my bear son. What's wrong, Kichi? You don't look so well. When did you go to sleep? It seemed that my mom had noticed my sullen state. Yesterday I kept on waking up in the middle of the night. Without a doubt, I felt their presence. I felt the presence of someone standing in front of my door. I told myself repeatedly that was just my imagination and forced myself to try and sleep. Dude, you could have just opened the door and kept it open. Except not being able to stand it, I gathered up my courage and opened the door. Of course, there was anyone there. I think I did this 3 times throughout the night. Or maybe I just didn't remember doing it any more than that. Even though I was able to get to the breakfast table without incident, I still didn't feel at ease. It might be cold. I don't really have enough appetite. You don't seem low. You do seem a little warm. Well, can you make it to school? Technically, I did go to school, but it was mostly self-study. It wouldn't matter much if I missed a day, would it? It could have been that I hadn't been feeling well for the last few days because I really did have a cold. If I took some medicine and got a good day of rest, I might be able to greet everyone with a smile tomorrow. Ding dong. Startled, I looked back and forth between the inches and then the clock. It was 2 minutes later than I usually met up with Rena. It was Rena. Rena Chen came to get you. What are you going to do? Are you going to take the day off? Rena was a good girl. She might be somewhat quirky, but she was certainly cute. The lunches she made were delicious, and she always looked out for me. Why should I be so scared of something like that? It wasn't Rena's fault. It was probably mine. It had to be my cold. It just had to be. I'll rest. Sorry. Then I'll go see they're off for you. Mom handed off to the door. I would have to pass by the entrance to get back to my room. I didn't have the nerve to meet with Rena, so I wrapped myself in a blanket on the sofa and closed my eyes. I was so sleep deprived, I quickly fell into a deep slumber. We're probably going to have a nightmare or something, you know. I had only intended to lie down for a bit, but it was almost noon when I woke up. I called out to my parents, but they didn't seem to be around. On the table, I found lunch prepared and a note. Mom and Dad had apparently driven out to somewhere far away. It likely to do with Dad's work. This happened every so often, so it wasn't that unusual. They would probably be back sometime after dinner. On the note, it said, "The insurance card is in the cabinet. Take it and go to the hospital." There was also a well-drawn map to the hospital. That's right. I hadn't been there before, so I didn't know exactly where it was. I had a light lunch, although it was really just leftovers in the morning, and just in case went to the hospital. Why? Why would I go to the hospital? It's just a cold, right? Normally, I'd never be here in the middle of a weekday, just walking around like this, had me feeling guilty. It was an odd feeling. Following my mom's map, I took a road I usually never used. After walking for a bit, the hospital sign came into view. Irony Clinic was written rather stylishly on the sign. The clinic wasn't very big, but based on the scale of the rest of Hinamisawa, it was far too grand. There was a parking lot in a reserved spot for buses. It was making a mint. I spaced out in the air-conditioned waiting room until it was my turn to be seen. My son, please make your way to the examination room. Man, this is a good visual novel, man. I just wish, there was a little bit, the text was, a little bit updated, what character was talking, and, maybe widescreen support without mods or patches, but, either way, good visual novel. Okay, after properly answering all the chatty doctor's questions, he responded with the oddest, probably a cold. They gave me a shot and 3 days worth of medicine. I thought it was a little overboard, but if it would clear away the gloomy feeling I've been having lately, then it was worth it. True that, man. True that. Set up the bill. I quickly took a quick trip to the washroom, and as I was leaving, I overheard a conversation between elderly people who seemed to be regular at the clinic. Of course, I know a touch of eavesdropping. If it just wasn't for that word, it must have been an Onikakushi. I wonder. She was still pretty young, but I just eloped. With whom? That man from Tokyo who visits every season. That young with that big camera. Didn't you know they were getting along pretty well? Where they talk about Tamatake-san? I can feel my ears perking up. I don't know about that, but you have to make preparations before you elope. Leave a note or quit their job or something. It's an elopement because they didn't leave a note or message. The thought that I'll never see that young nurse's face again makes me rather sad. Takano, Takano-san is an upstanding young woman. She'll be fine wherever she goes. So her name was Takano-san. That woman was Tamatake-san, and she worked at this clinic. Yoshio-sama's shadows were following me everywhere I went. I started listening more closely, but they began to talk about fishing, and it seemed like they were going to visit the topic, and I gave up and left. That's even though I was separated from the daily monotony of the school. I was able to escape from all Yoshiro-sama said. I wasn't, man. Whatever, shadow. But of course, Yoshiro-sama was the guardian deity of this place, of Hinamizawa. As long as I was in Hinamizawa, I wouldn't be able to escape. Nope. Maybe it was because I was walking outside, but my appetite had suddenly returned. I might as well buy a snack with the change from the examination fee on the way home. Contemplating that, I turned into a familiar street. At that moment, I heard a car horn abruptly honk behind me. Was I really walking so far in the middle of the road where I would be in a car's way? I moved farther off to the side, but the horn was still honking at me. I turned around and peeved. Mayberry-san, good day to see you. It was Oishi-san. He stepped out of his car, AC on full blast, and waved at me. What's up today? School on break? Just I feeling when I took the day off. I was about to buy lunch and head back home. That's great. I'm just about to get lunch myself. Would you mind going together? If you're not feeling up for it, then don't mind me. I was just going to lie down after going home anyway, and I didn't really have a cold. I thought you'd want to eat at one of those local places. Let's go into town. It's a bit of a drive. Is that alright? I know a pretty good place. I finally began to understand what she sounds roundabout way of saying things. You might want to talk to me about stuff that will be difficult to discuss while in Hinamizawa. Okay, well, I said let's do it. It looks like we are. I went with Oishi-san right in his frigid car. It was almost as if the bright sunlight was a lie. I'm sorry about calling you so late last night. Did your parents get angry at you? No. I recalled Rena, who had been listening to the phone conversation all that time, separated from me by just the door. Even now in the brightness of the sunlight, the thought still creeped me out. With a big bump that jolted the car, the road connected to the city changed from dirt to pavement. My head swelled back with a sudden realization. That's right. This was where Tamatake-san died. They've hit a snag on the investigation regarding Tamatake-san. Oishi-san spoke while peering at me from the corner of his eye. They believed it was caused by hallucinogens, given how he was clawing on his own throat. But that a drug could cause that to happen so suddenly is extremely hard to come by. Bear in mind, of course, the autopsy was done with that premise in mind, but we didn't find any leads. You know the thing you see in the comics all the time, where there's a drug that you put in and then it doesn't leave any traces? It exists. Succinylcholine or other. Well, it's pretty common. But you see, there doesn't seem to be the kind of drug that would cause Tamatake-san to react like that. Then you're saying that police concluded Tamatake-san just died from the curse? Couldn't help but feel that the police were worthless. I just wanted an idea of a curse to be disassociated with Tamatake-san's mysterious death. Unfortunately, that's how it looks right now. But putting aside the cause of death, without a doubt, he was surrounded by a group of people and had taken a beating before he died. That was no curse, but an incident that unquestionably involved other humans. That made me a bit relieved. Well, I wouldn't be relieved because it means still people wanted to cause harm to somebody, but whatever. We passed it from the rather desolate but still busier than Hinamizawa train station. The car pulled into a restaurant parking lot and I followed Oishi-san into the shop. It was pretty crowded, but there were only adults at this hour, of course, so being children here in the middle of a weekday. 2, please, non-smoking. This way, please. When you're ready to order, please call me over. We were led by a peculiar dressed waitress to our table. I sat with Oishi-san in the booth. So what do you think? Aren't the waitress's outfits here cute? Huh? Well, I guess. This shop is always quite busy. It's more about the waitresses than the food you see. Oishi-san, you're slurring. Am I really? Okay. Ooh, that food though. Low quality, yum yum. Regardless of how the waitresses looked, the food was decent enough. Fishing our meals while talking about some insane topic. Oishi-san's after a meal cup of coffee arrived at the table. Yesterday we talked about Hinamas almost past, didn't we? Yeah, that was the village of man-eating demons or something like that. I didn't know much about it myself, so I asked my grandmother about it this morning. Ueshi-san took out the notepad that was stuffed into his breast pocket. Turns out that Hinamizawa used to be called Onikakushi or Ogre's Abyss. Onikakushi. That's quite the name. The name is still around. The marsh where the Shinto priest's wife drowned herself is still called the Ogre's Abyss. It's said that the depths of that marsh connect to the realm of demons. Of course, nobody told me anything about such an ominous marsh. And you see, it appears they were both feared and revered. A respect born of fear. I guess you could say it was kind of a deficiency. A village of human creatures. Seems a demon worse than an or mountain-dwelling mystics of sorts. Take a villagers with incurable innocence to the ogre's abyss and healing them, for example. Even if we were calling them demons, to include long-nosed goblins or sinning would be a more apt description. They don't seem like they're such terrible people, even though they were called demons. But they were still men-eating demons. According to the story my grandma told me, as payment for treating the son's illness, let us eat the mother who brought him here, was apparently how things went. The price of killing her son was herself. That was unsettling. Of course, the mother took her son and ran. Then you see all the people who lived in Onikakushi, the demons chased them down, ran them up, and captured them. An entire village, apparently. That's quite a frightening thing to imagine. Yeah, and a bunch of bullshit, too. In the end, it seems both mother and son were caught and eaten. The end. There's a problem with this story. Both oysters in the story were eaten, so nobody will be able to tell the tale. Huh? Wow, there are plenty of old fables like this. Any contrast to the ghastly tale Oishi-san laughed cheerily while sipping his coffee. But, well, there are quite a few other tales where the demons from Onikakushi band together to capture their prey. I recall that Mion said all the villagers united and fought against the dam construction. I saw similarities with how that part about fiction overlapped. Normally they hunted on a single person. They chose who it was going to be beforehand. Huh? That caught my attention. Oishi-san also appeared to be pondering what it meant. My grandmother told me that you must never interfere with the demon's hunt. You should just hole up in your house and hide under the covers, she said. So what does that all mean? It means you mustn't ever help or protect the prey. As long as you don't disturb the demons, that no harm will fall upon the villagers. It seems there's some kind of rule. Basically, don't help the victims. Pretend you didn't see the atrocities. In other words, what happens if you break the rule? Well, there are many demons after all. Many parts of the tale caught my attention. Parts of the story had told me they overlapped with this theories that the perpetrators were all the village families. Even if it was the whole village, it was conceivable that the village were hiding under the covers and leaving them to die. I mean, there's a group that was on their hunt, wasn't it? I didn't dare to speak. Then Oishi-san, I guess it looks like it's either the village families or a group of villagers perpetrating the crimes. What do you think, my bear son? Excuse me, another cup of coffee, please. That's what I wanted to know. It seemed that we were both waiting for them to say the last part. I waited for the waitress to finish pouring coffee before speaking. Last year, I had a nagging feeling when Satoshi-kun disappeared. Oishi-san muttered as he watched the milk swirl around in his coffee. So those friends of Satoshi-san, me and your group of friends, my brother son, I had a bit, really, just a little bit, okay? But background checking done on them. If Oishi-san had said this for me before, I would have been furious since he told me earlier not to respect my friends. But as I was now, I couldn't. This may be sounding pretty stupid, my bear son. If you feel that's stupid, please say so. I'll just stop. Oishi-san was wearing the most serious expression that I had ever seen in front of him. It was as if he was telling me to prepare myself and listen. There were quite a few things I regretted hearing from Oishi-san, but none of them were as stunning as this. A little voice inside me was screaming like an alarm. Stop, Kichi. This was probably the last one. I took a deep breath and silenced that voice. I would not run from the truth. Please. That was all I could utter. Oishi-san stared into my silently for a few months. After he was certain I was ready, he began. The victim of the incident in the first year was the overseer. A few weeks prior, he had an altercation with Mion Sanosaki-san. Multiple altercations. Oishi-san said before that Mion had defied the dam project vehemently. Well, it wasn't hard to imagine how she'd be if she got worked up. In the second year, the married couple who supported the project died in that accident, right? They had a daughter. Her name was Satoko Ujo-san. Huh? Satoko meaning Satoko? Oishi-san told me that my voice was too loud. I realized it as well and quickly quieted down. The Shinto priest and his wife who died in the third year, you see. Their daughter is Rika Fuda-san. Rika-chan was the housewife who died in the fourth year. You already know, don't you? It was a step-aunt of Sotoko Hojo-san. She was in her aunt and uncle's custody as she had lost both of her parents in the accident. She lived in the victim's house. I could tell my lips were getting dry. I didn't even have the voice to keep my mouth from hitting a gap. I had thought it was nothing but a bizarre incident, one that could easily distance myself from. But clicking and clacking, it had snuck all the way to my feet. The one who disappeared the fourth year, by the way, he was Sotoko-san's older brother. But just a second. It took me a minute. I had to finally say that. I gulped on a glass of water and once again wet my face with the napkin. Calm down, Kichi, my bear. But oh, she's almost relentless. Instead of waiting for me to finish sorting out my feelings, she started speaking again. That's the things I shouldn't have heard. It's gonna be Rina. All victims to be connected to your group of friends. That has to be just a coincidence. Maybe I should keep it down. Everyone's looking. Mion, Satoko, Rika-chan. So if they're all connected, you're telling me all my friends. It couldn't be. It just couldn't be. Oh, Rina is different, isn't she? Rina isn't connected with the victims at all. Rina Rigo was living in a suburb of Ibaraki prefecture up until last year. Well, Shushi and directly many of the victims. He's saying in a roundabout way. He's saying she's also connected. Actually, I looked into her before Rigo-san moved away to Hinamizawa. She was suspended from school. It seems she went through her school building and broke all of the windows. Rina did that? She broke all the windows at her school? That same slave Rina had? I couldn't even imagine it. It seems that after her 3-day suspension, she didn't return to school. She went to a neurologist and was given diagnosed with dysautonomia. She was given weeks of counseling and medication. I wonder if it's to do like a little nervous breakdown. I heard about it happens to people who are really methodical or overly sensitive. The internet of those match Rina's easygoing personality. And in the counselor's medical report, he recorded all of the conversations he had with Rina's son. It shows up, and quite a bit at that. What did? I pressed forward carelessly. There could be anything more for me to regret. She mentioned the word Oyashiro-sama. Oh, shit. It felt like someone's stone-cold hand was piercing behind my back. Why had Rina spoken of Oyashiro-sama before she even came to Hinamizawa? Seems that the Oyashiro-sama she spoke of was like a ghost appearing in her house every night. Sitting over her pillow, looking down at her, my mind froze. I couldn't even process what I was being told. A while after that, she moved into Misawa. Ah, that's right. She's not an outsider. Huh? According to the residency register, the Ryugu family used to reside in Hinamizawa. Rina moved to Ibaraki right after she finished elementary school. My mind went completely blank. It was similar to the study you see on the Blink TV channel. My ears began ringing as I lost all sense of comprehension. I better son, are you alright? Shall we stop? Those words brought me back. I couldn't let it end here. Now I understand, Rina. Then how about the last victim, Tamatake-san? Who was he connected with? Irritated, I let my final reversal. All of them. Have you forgotten, my bear-san? Didn't you all spend the night at the festival together quite merrily? Quite a few of the officers saw you enjoying yourselves. You know, there was nothing I could respond with. I felt sullen as my brain turned to mush. We should get going. My bear-san, did you take your new medicine? I had completely forgotten about the medicine I had gotten today until she said that. I got in a glass of water. We left the shop after I chugged it down. You gotta tell him about Rina, man, what she did. We got in the car and returned to himself via the rough road. I never really paid attention when I was on my bike, but cars normally shake this much. It was almost as if the road was desperately trying to tell me something. But don't. That big jolt was from the difference in elevation of the road when it changed from cement to dirt. I was certain that I heard Tamatake-san's scream. I said in silence, just letting myself be shaken by the car. I'll drop you off at your house. You missed school because you were ill, correct? My apologies for the long conversation. Why did you talk to me? I blurted out the question. Really, just blurted it out. I didn't expect an answer. I did check with you first, didn't I? If we should just stop. Not that. Why did you reach out to me? I understood quite well that Oyushi-san was investigating this chain of suspicious incidents. But why was he telling me all this? I knew nothing, and I couldn't help. Everything Oyushi-san spoke of was news to me. First of all, what could I have just moved here now? By chance, if there's a reason for Oyushi-san to reach out to me, then it would have to be that I looked suspicious Oyushi-san as I was part of me in a circle of friends. I'm retiring this year. I plan on moving away after retiring as my grandma wants. So while I'm still on the case, I want to bring the truth behind this incident to light. So Oyushi-san, you spoke them, don't you? All of them. Oyushi-san didn't really give a response. It felt like a little late, but I thought it was his always showing a bit of consideration for my feelings. This is mostly my intuition for 30 years on this job. My very son, you are the one in danger. Huh? I wanted to reply with that was absurd, but I don't try to stay. I couldn't bring myself to say it. I'll be retiring this year, so I don't want to be at the Watanagashi next year. So I want to settle things. In other words, he was, and so she's not the next Watanagashi. I might be the victim. I've been warned by the chief as well. Each incident in the stream cases have been solved, so don't read it again or so I was told. This is the pressure that I'm facing. Pressure from what? Is someone at Hinamazawa? We've arrived. Is this fine? After some time in the car, finally reached the path to my house. After the clock read 2 p.m., I was surprised a little time had passed since we ate. It was hot outside the car. The chirping of the Higurashi hurt my ears. I won't mind if you just forget that I told you today, but I'm still going to keep investigating. And you're still almost cursed this year, so you're saying I should contact you if anything happens? It's fine. Just contact me when you feel you have to, my bear son. I wasn't collected enough to understand how she sounds roundabout way of saying it. Be sure to take it easy. I'm sorry for throwing all this at you while you were taking the day off because you're sick. I didn't really give any sort of response. I'll always be on your side. If anything, believe that. I'll be off now. The tires crunched over the dirt road as the car made a U-turn and disappeared into a cloud of kicked up dust. It felt like I was watching a boat only through a lifesaver when a shark infested waters before disappearing into the distance. That was the first time I thought Uchi-san was being unfair. Tell me I was going to be the next victim than just saying the contact him if something happened. That was a criminal investigation. He was finishing. It was just a bait of the dangling off the line. Would it be the finish? Would the fish be the perpetrator? Or was it really just Uchi-sama's curse? Either way, the bait will be swallowed whole. Damn it, I didn't want to die. For some time, I could just do nothing but stare at the puddle of water left behind the AC from the car. Don't tell me this is already the end of the chapter. It's only been 22 minutes, man. Okay, good. I wonder how much time had passed as I lay down. It was getting dark outside. My body was soaked in sweat. It would probably be a good idea to change my sheets. At that moment, the phone downstairs rang. It was probably Mom. My mom was quite the worry. Maybe she had called me in text, but I just didn't notice it. It's probably Rena. Hello, this is my bearer resident. Oh, he's alive. Hello, this is Mion. How are you doing? And this is one of Kichi's friends. Kichi is resting now, but shall I put him on? Huh? Is this his dad? So sorry. But idiot. He fell for it. Huh? Kichi-chan? After our exchange, we both had a good laugh together, except I was suspicious of her as we were laughing. Was everybody really involved in the incident? The fact that I couldn't say no saddened me. I'm relieved that you seem well. I was really worried, Soko-chan was happy and said you got what you deserved. Hikuchi said how unfortunate he's sick. It looks like everybody's making a big deal out of it. Well, Soki-chan, it's now about time to come pay you a visit. A visit? No, it's okay, sound like I'm dying. My grandma made a ton of mochi, you see. I was told to share them, so I'll bring you some. Hey, now you'll catch my cold. Not to worry, both Rena and I are too stupid to catch a cold. See you. We'll be there in a bit. She hung up cheerfully. Rena's coming too. That's what it sounded like. I was still concerned about meeting Rena, but I guess if it was with me on. I heard the doorbell 10 minutes later. How are you feeling? Do you take your medicine and rest? It's just so fun to look at the two. Why does she have a gun? I don't understand why in the original she has a gun on her. Like, seriously, man. Why? Why does she have it now anyway? So you feeling rest? I did just that. The thing that she looked well, I was worried. Sorry, I'll be fine by tomorrow. I showed a complete lack of concern for someone who's recovering. It didn't look like she was worried about me from the bottom of her heart. It didn't look like there was anything behind those expressions. I thought we might hang out for a bit, but it looks like you're not quite in the condition for it. You don't say. It seemed my face appeared a bit sullen. Then here, Kichi-kan, these are the mochi Michan's grandma made. Rina held out the package wrapped in newspaper. There might be about 5 in here. It was quite hefty. Thanks to my grocery grandma Mion. Yep. There's one. I made it there as well. I thought no Kichi-kan guess which one. This is Kichan's homework since he missed the club meeting today. There are letters on each mochi, so I'll ask you tomorrow. Or you check as if I was feeling better, or did you come here for club activities? Yep, you look fine. Guess you'll be able to make it tomorrow. Man, what are you going to do if my fever comes back because of your shenanigans? Michan, you shouldn't be making such a racket. Let's go. There are other people here who will get angry. Both of them thought my parents were home. It was because of the inches where it was a mess. You're right, let's get going. By the way, Kichan. Yeah? Uh-oh, she's gonna get crazy on me, ain't she? What did you eat for lunch? The sudden question stole me as I went wide-eyed with I saw Mion. I'd never seen her like that. What she look like in this? Ooh, she looks like it was highly unsettling visage. But while she asked me what I ate for lunch, what she said was so insane, it was almost meaningless. The way she said it was almost like she didn't even care about all what I ate. I ate out. She must have suspected that I was with the way she saw me. You know, I felt that I hesitated. Was she still gun? Oh, shit, okay. I felt like I hesitated or tried to change the subject, and I read too deep into it, so I tried answering as quickly as possible. It's contrary to the efforts I made. There was a pause before they replied. So you ate out for lunch, Kichi-kan. The glimmer from Rina's eyes changed at some point as well. It was now sharp, as if to make me feel the feigned ignorance behind her words even more, as if she'd already knew that's how it looked to me. Well, is it good? Why are you asking me this? Beyond was speaking in an unusually low tone, almost as if she knew I'd eaten at the restaurant in town. No, I'm overthinking this. I mean, both of them should be in school at lunchtime. There was no way they could have known where I was. Seems you were with a rather austere-looking older guy. Who was he? Flop. The package with the mochi I was slipped on my hands. I could tell the blood had drained from my face, making me go pale. Oh, Kishika, who was he? Could it be the person before, I wonder? I could feel the back of my throat going dry. She was no longer a bluff. They knew everything. How do you know that? It took everything I had to finally force those words from my throat. My knees were shaking. Because there's nothing in this Omai doesn't now. Mian sneered knowingly at her, and her laugh seemed to carry on forever. So, Kichan, what did you talk about? It seems like you're pretty worked up over it, too. We weren't talking about you guys. It didn't have anything to do with you or Rina. His bit stingy about our names come up, even though nobody asked about that. Rina's unaware gaze pierced through my eyes and peered further inside me. I dug at my own grave. My heart stopped me so much it felt like it was going to explode. Well, whatever you're trying to hide, this old man already sees through it all. Remember that. I couldn't even shake my head. It took everything I had to stop my teeth from chattering. She never let her gaze prick from mine, even as she tilted her head slightly. Kichikon, you don't look so good. I think you should lie down. That's true. We both should back home now. Oh, damn, man, crazy. As something that happened, they both giggled at each other and started making their way out. I didn't move the muscle since I dropped the package of mochi. As I left, the door slowly closed behind them. All I could do was stare, as if I couldn't move until the door was completely closed. Just as the door was just about closed, it opened again slightly with a sudden creak, sending my heart racing once again. I peered through it, and then that narrow slit, and Miana's hawkish gaze peered at me once again. See you, Ki-chan. Yeah, I'd hate it if you missed school tomorrow, alright? Thud. The door closed. I wasn't able to move a muscle, even after the low laughter died off into the distance. The silence once again enveloped the room. Coming back to this is the first thing I did was lock the door. They knew what Oishi-san and I talked about. Why? How? No, that wasn't important. Alright, guys, hold on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I think about it now, all of it could have been overheard from the beginning when Oishi-san met me. Just to me outside, I couldn't hide anything. Then what they're trying to tell me, that part of it was obvious. They were mourning me not to say anything unnecessary. What did they deem unnecessary? I only talked with Oishi said about one thing, and they were wanting me that was unnecessary. What was it that Oishi-san talked to me about? The instance involving Oishi-sama's curse that occurred every year wasn't individual cases, but were connected as a whole, as well as the fact that there might be multiple perpetrators here within Misawa. No more precisely, that Mian, Rina, Satoko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. Is that they were warning me against? A kind of nonsense am I thinking about? I hit my own face hard enough that it let out a loud slap. It felt like that would wake me from this nightmare, but for some reason, it felt like I was punching a blanket. It was almost laughable plainness. Calm down, Kishima Bear. When did I become such a pessimist? Calm down, calm down. Settle down and sort things out. The reason Mian knew I was eating lunch with Oishi was probably because somebody from Misawa just happened to be there at the time. They must have told Mian I was there. That made no sense. Plus, come to think of it, she didn't ask me where I ate lunch, did she? She only asked, was it good? They were just curious that I was together with someone enough of Misawa. It's not as if they had any ulterior motives. That's it. That has to be it. Thinking about it that way, it was the same with Rina. I was just about being straight and ambiguous about when I met with Oishi-san, and Rina was just correcting me on that. That's when I bewildered by the change in the character from the usual mild-mannered Rina and was just startled by it. That's the most natural way of thinking about it. It felt like my mind was mixed up like a tangle of Mrs. Spaghetti. Deep red marinara sauce would have poured out by my nose, and ears would have squeezed on my head, thinking that I was suddenly like vomiting. I really didn't want that to happen, so I stopped holding my head. Literally had no idea what anyone was saying. Spending time with them was fun. It didn't feel like there was any sort of hidden agenda. I really do think that they're a good bunch of people. Then I just moved here and couldn't head back. Couldn't make heads or tails of everything. They were really kind to me. Rena was really kind. Always looked after me. As long as that strange affliction that rears ugly head, she was really pretty cute. Miana is also a really good person. She didn't care about anyone's age or gender, and was optimistic and outgoing. I was never bored when I was with her, and talking about getting bored and ambitious, so Toko was a good person for that too. She was pretty bratty, but she was just the way she was interacting with others. Pikachu was the same way. She didn't speak often, but that didn't mean she was always silent. They're my friends. But after hearing of the better untold secrets of Hina Misawa from Oishi and Toмотaki-san, when I was told about the Oishi-sama's curse, things started going crazy. Then hearing from Oishi-san, Mian, Rina, Stuko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. After that, everybody changed. That's right. I was started getting weird. Oishi-san told me all that strange stuff. At that time, I really should have just not listened to those weird stories. And I even shouldn't have heard the past incidents with Toмотaki-san on the night of Watanagashi. If I just hadn't got that strange sense of curiosity, if I just hadn't. That's right, so that's why they fucked Toмотaki-san, or murdered? I don't know, fuck Toмотaki-san, why not? Then put an outsider speakers that likes of me after everybody went out of their way to keep it secret from me. The probably... fuck Oishi-san as well for trying to unearth that everybody was wanting me left buried. Besides that, he was a freaking both for speed and worse that maybe dealt the others. Of course, a guy like that is going to be fucked. Both of Toмотaki-san and Oishi-san were nothing but outsiders after all. They were entities who couldn't coexist with the people of Hina Misawa. Those guys should just fall to Oishi or someone's curse and just die. I'm assuming that's what it says, right? It wasn't their fault. It was my fault for not being able to hold back my curiosity. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault. It was their fault. Was it their fault? Was it their fault? I fell into a daze. It was a lethargic feeling. I had just gotten up, but I'm in this chill. That haunted me sometimes. You know, this picture of this house, I wonder if it's the creators of this house at the time. Because who else's house would we take a picture of inside this high quality, or whatever. Oh, it's fine now. I was no longer frightened. I had completely recovered. I'll only go to school tomorrow right as rain, and I'll greet everyone. I'll take part in the club activities. It'll definitely be fun. It had to be fun. Oh, it's one of them after all. That reminds me, I need to eat those mochi. I hope I'm able to tell which one Rina made. I remember the homework with the two brought when they visited me. But wow, our club did delivery. Oh shit, I just pulled my headset. And package though. But wow, our club activity delivered. There was something else. I picked up the package, I jumped on the floor and headed to the living room. It would be nice, I guess, to have some tea with it. To fill my mouth up the mochi while drinking tea. What's mochi anyway? Oh, this was quite a delectable situation I was in. With the newspaper wrapping, there were 5 plump red bean paste mochi fit snugly inside. There were 5 letters written from left to right on the newspaper. A, B, C, D, and E. Now then, they said Rena made one of these. I wonder which one. There wasn't much difference in how they looked. They still didn't appear about the same. This is pretty difficult problem. The big stiff is probably their shape. I wasn't sure what kind of person Mion's grandma was, but Rena had to be different from hers. Looking carefully, I could see one mochi that was made very neatly, so well just by staring at it, one could tell it stood out. Looks like this was challenged based on whether or not this one was Rena's. Calm down, think even harder. Miana said her grandma made a ton of them and was able to hold them to give some out, if I remember correctly. So I had 4 of these were from that large batch. What about Rena? She probably only made one, so she probably spent quite a bit of time on it. Meaning the one that Rena made. What was this one? E. From my mind, I thought it may have been a trap. Miana laid as she knew I'd pick it up on it, but that probably wasn't the case. I wouldn't be so sure if I knew Miana made it, but since she said Miana made it, probably wasn't a trap. Alright, my tea is ready too. I'll start with the defending champion's grandma. Let's see. Not bad. The smooth bean tastes of soft, chewy texture left a little to be desired. The tea I drank afterwards also accentuated the experience. This was quite an exquisite piece of work. Now, how about Rena's? The creature is so delicate one would think it was high-class Japanese dessert. Since I normally hook with the appetite, I was slightly worried about the size of the portion. But, well, first, bye-bye. Poison, probably. Yeah. This was quite difficult to judge, actually. The ingredients were exactly the same, so there were little difference in flavor. What the difference was how it was shaped at the end, so it was to be expected. So the deciding factors would be presentation and volume. The well-formed and well-sized champion versus Rena, the challenger with the size you just couldn't get enough of. I only had one bite of Rena's. I would probably have to wait till after I was done eating to make out my decision. Maybe there was something hidden in that inside could cause an upset. Choo-choo. You see, my prediction was right. My tongue touched something. It didn't feel like it was edible, so I reached with my fingers and grabbed it. Uh-oh. What? What is this? Oh, if I could flick up here on what it was, I threw the rest of the mochi I was eating as fast as I could. It slipped against the wall, causing me to splatter. That just thinking from out, I slipped to the floor. I was still checked by my own actions. What was I doing? Rena had gone out of her way to make it for me. How could I? Dumbstruck, I looked down at the hand that performed such a well act. Then my way I took it out of my mouth. At first I thought it was a hair, and I was shorter than me. Rena's hair was still quite long. It wasn't as short. It was also a bit too hard to be hair. It was a thick interval on my tongue. There was a bit of metallic sheen on one of the. Yes, there was a hole for the needle, where the thread goes through like it was a sewing needle. Yes, that's right. It looked very much like a sewing needle. Exactly like one. The end was pointed as well, quite sharply. It really did look just like a sewing needle, huh? What did I mean by it looked very much like a sewing needle just a bit ago? I couldn't answer, but a voice said something I already knew and let me know by charting my molars together. I could staff off the terror welling up inside me. Suddenly I tasted something metallic and felt particularly in pain at the back of my throat. I stuck my finger at the back of my mouth and I felt around to see if I was bleeding. Suddenly I felt the urge to vomit. A sharp taste of bile irritated at the back of my throat. I clasped both of my hands over my mouth and I was somehow able to hold back the nausea. I was finally able to breathe normally again, but this time my heart was intensely throbbing. Then it finally registered exactly what was mixed in with the mochi. Before I could think of the correct word, my hands were already on the move. Splat, plop, splort. I thought sorts of mochi against the wall. The geometrical patterns of the scattered bean gem on the wall suddenly evoked a terrible omen in my mind. After looking away, I dashed up to the hall and upstairs to my room, where I stayed under my covers until morning. I clutched my shoulders, howling at Hadley in a mix of fear, anger, sadness, and frustration. This was a threat, warning, or reminder, nothing as simple as that. What happened in Hinamasawa? What is happening in Hinamasawa? What would happen? I don't know the answer to any of those questions. Or did I break a taboo? Regardless, now reading me on to the others, they consider me an enemy, and they thought I should just die. I won't let you kill me, not for such a pointless reason. I fell into a restless sleep as I was crushed by my negative emotions. It was as if I was being drawn to a billowing, bottomless marsh. I don't know what a marsh is. Is it like Stan Marsh, Randy Marsh, from South Park or what? Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna be ending the video here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.